how about this? Hello,
Twitch and
YouTube. And Twitch.
Thanks. There you go. Yeah, why are we putting Twitch first? She's like our old thing.
Twitch is our old hag of a wife, and YouTube is our hot younger model girlfriend that we're cheating on Twitch with because we're disgusting.
Precisely. All right. I did not get anything prepared for music because I was slacking and talking to Lucas about other things. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me here. I guess
I like bears. Bears are fluffy.
May I request Yoshi's story?
Sure.
Yay!
I was gonna go with something definitely the opposite direction.
I knew Steve was gonna be like Hyrule Warriors, so I really wanted to throw a wrench in that.
Well, I was thinking it, and then I'm like, eh.
And you know what I was gonna go with was Final Fantasy VII because of Sephiroth. But we'll go.
Well, had you gone with Hyrule Warriors, all it would be is Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's true. Pretty much all the music is either
like
Breath of the
2 new
Wild
songs.
or it's just like. Oh,
I thought we were talking about the new one.
I am talking about the new one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm a little slow today.
Streamlabs. You probably can't hear the music yet because I don't have my bees on, but I don't want to kill you with this yet.
Can't.
I was going to say tonight we should record new bumpers for the start of the year, but it's only the three of us. And then if we do that, I think we did that last year, and we only ever got 3 for the whole year. So maybe we'll do that next week.
So for those of you watching live, we think Justin thinks that the show is tomorrow, and we're not sure why.
Which you will find out soon is going to be tomorrow in the future, meaning that it'll be on Thursdays. That didn't make sense.
Tomorrow is yesterday's tomorrow.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm tired. But guess what? Also starting tomorrow, and by tomorrow I mean Thursday, Lucas is going to take over hosting duty so he can do most of the talking.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So tell me how Steve sounds with this. It's probably going to be a little loud, so sorry.
Actually, it sounds just fine to me.
Oh,
but I don't hear Steve.
I haven't started Steve yet. I'm getting the Infendo guy.
We don't need Steve. Steve doesn't exist.
God, I want to play this game again.
I guess we'll go with Donkey Kong Infendo guy music. Or opening. And then this on now. Okay, cool. So let's start over the music. How does this sound with
troublemakers.
Steve?
I love producing stuff, but I'm really lazy.
We're good?
The easiest
No
way to
adjustments
produce
needed?
something really cool that you get your name on is to head over to patreon.com.
All right, well then we'll just roll with it. First time through. All right, let me make a note in Audacity and let's get started.
And I'll pay attention for a minute. But why you guys?
Helpful.
And away we go.
I love producing stuff, but I'm really lazy. The easiest way to produce something really cool that you get your name on is to head over to patreon.com/Infendo Radio and give us $10 a month. We'll even say your name once a week instead of once a month.
We put the donkey in Donkey Kong. Infendo Radio is on now.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. We are here to save the new year. It's been a weird day, but I'm glad that I'm here with you guys to mellow out a little bit. We're recording on Wednesday the 6th. Google Wednesday the 6th if you are listening to this in the future in 2040. It was a weird day. It was a weird day.
It was a very weird day.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about
anything other than the day.
Yeah, we're here to talk about video games and anything but the day. I have some really well-groomed looking co-hosts with me tonight. Lucas, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing just fine and dandy, like sweet ribbon candy, my friend. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I would like to say that 2021 started off great, but you know, that's yet to be.
We had our wins and our losses. You know, little like sweeping change here, a little like government sponsored coup there. You know, a bit of this, a little bit of that.
Tell the people where they can find you, Lucas, before we get into any more talking.
You can find me at youtube.com/LUKASPEACE. That is my YouTube channel. I posted a video on a game called Ace of Seafood over the holiday break when we weren't on, and it's nuts. So if you want to go check that out, I put on a rubber fish mask. I rave. At one point, I pull a knife on you. So like, go be a part of that journey.
That sounds interesting.
So I want to break in right here. I was watching a fellow streamer watch your video. We watched it together while it was live.
The recommended way to watch me actually is through someone else.
His reaction to your video, it was just awesome.
I appreciate that.
You really should go watch that video if you haven't yet.
Anytime I can bring a chuckle to somebody's face, it means everything I'm doing is worth it.
Well, Steve, where can the people find you and all of your chuckles?
You can find all of my chuckles at a wonderful little Linktree website. So linktr.ee/Gentis, Gentas. Go find me there. You can find a link to my Discord. You can find a link to the other podcast I'm on and their Discord. You can find all the stuff there.
Okay, well, now that we got the boring stuff out of the way, how the hell are you doing tonight, Steve? That's the important question.
I'm very good. Very good. It's been a hot minute since I've been on the show, and I kind of forgot how to do a podcast. I am recording, though.
You liar. We recorded Hyper Voice last week.
No, that was just Monday. Just Monday. It's fine. Podcast magic.
Right. All right. Well, we usually have a Justin, but he's not with us this evening. He'll be with us next week, I would imagine. You can find him at the Disney Park Bench. That's the one. And Master Claw on Twitter, so go check him out.
We're good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we get too far into the weeds, because we have a great show for you all, we want to thank the people who need the thanking. So, Steve, could you do that thanking?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed this last month. I normally get to read all the patrons, and I missed it, so shame on me. But we would, as always, like to thank our 4 producers, the Brianosaurus and the Slacker Monkey. Well, our 2 producers, the Brianosaurus and Slacker Monkey, and our 2 executive producers, DJ and Minus64. Thank you for continuing to support us through all of last year and hopefully through all of this year too.
Yeah, we really appreciate you all. Hugs and kisses. All right, well, we're going to take a break. We have changed the system right after this. Quite the news segment, which actually might kind of be most of the change of the system, I would imagine, because there's a lot to talk about. But that will remain to be seen. We'll be right back. hello, YouTube and Twitch. We're back. It's time to do some changing of the system. Lucas, you mind if I just kind of toss it over to you for the news as we roll into change the system? You can kind of hit your bits.
Be my guest, your command is my request.
All right, let's go find some new Yoshi story music. Alone in the Jungle sounds interesting.
Your neck, Sherry, and we'll provide the rest. Why did that become like Dracula?
I know.
Be my guest, be my guest.
He's either Dracula or Gru from Despicable Me.
Everything I do ends up becoming Gru.
I love
actually,
Gru.
yeah. So we'll go with
Nice,
Lucas this
good
time.
guess.
And then, I don't like this song. Let's go with this song.
You know
That's
the
a
one
little
you
better.
need is that.
I like that
Yoshi.
one, but I don't know what it's called.
I know that it's the sewer level. That's all I know.
Oh, jeez.
Yoshi.
Of course it's the sewer level.
Let's see. There's nothing that stands out to me as being the sewer level, unfortunately.
What I really liked about this game is that like you only played one level in each world, so you'd have to like play the
Sure.
game multiple times to experience like all the. It was really cool.
It frustrated me at first when I was a
Yeah.
kid, honestly,
Yeah.
but I grew to appreciate it.
I just like any game that does stuff differently, which will be the topic of the video I'm releasing this Friday. So,
Oh,
you
cool.
know, go check that out.
More
Nice.
content.
Content.
It's Zelda 2.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it. That song already played all the way through, so I'm going to restart it, and
Wow,
we're going to
that was
go
fast.
with this.
Honestly, I think anything is fine as long as you don't get.
Right? How does this sound with Lucas?
I love it.
You can't buy much for $1 a
Perfect,
month,
again.
but you can buy a
Perfect.
shout
Let's
out
go
on
with it.
Infendo.
All right, here we go.
You can't buy much for $1 a month, but you can buy a shout out on Infendo Radio. Head on over to patreon.com/Infendo Radio, and for $1 a month, we'll read your name out loud.
And we are back. So it's time for Change the System. We have news that we're going to talk about first. Some games that we've been playing as well, but let's start with the news. And Lucas, what you got for us?
Oh, I've got news. I've got all the news. So you may remember a little game called Minecraft Earth that came out sometime kind of like late last year, I want to say. It was definitely 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2
And,
years ago then, because we're 2021, my friend.
Oh, well, now we're 2020. Yeah, but we're 2021 as of like 6 days ago. Come on. So
True.
anyway, that came out, and it was a little delayed. It had some issues at launch, and then COVID happened, and now like it's just
Well,
dead. It's dying.
COVID happened and they didn't really do anything to adapt to anything.
So for those of you who don't know, Minecraft Earth was basically kind of a Pokemon Go-ish kind of game. Like, you go out in the real world, you'd build things together in the community setting. It was a cool idea, actually. I never gave it a try because I just really wasn't that interested.
And I'm sad that I never gave it a try. I had every intention to. I really did.
Well, the reason Steve is sad is because the servers are closing down on June 30th. So you can still play the game, you can still download it and give it a try, but there's no
Like
there's
collaboration.
No purchasing. Yeah, there's no microtransactions or anything like that. You can't really get anything cool anymore. They're kind of giving away everything that was already in the game, just kind of for free, just to try it out. But yeah, it's all disappearing. So you know, if you were...
So are they gonna let you keep playing it after the servers are down, like in a local setting? Is that not gonna be a thing?
Now, as I understand it, once it shuts down, it is just a dead app on your
Oh,
phone.
dang.
So if you want to try it, you've got until June 30th. You've got half a
dang.
year to play.
But
see, the
don't
problem-
love it though, because
That's the
then
problem, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
play it, and you're gonna.
Which is why I don't want to
and-
start.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it, and then it'll be gone. I did that with a. There was like an endless runner that was like a Sonic game, and they canceled that, and you know, it was like, oh well, you know, I'm unlocking all this stuff, but what does it matter? Because the game's going away in like a month, you know. So
Hmm.
so that's
That's
Minecraft Earth.
it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, you know, especially since it kind of felt like these like AR Pokemon Go type games were going to be kind of the future of mobile gaming, right? It's like, hey, let's all get together in the real world and play a game together, kind of thing. Like that really worked for Pokemon Go. But I think this year, or I guess more aptly last year, really just kind of did a number on socialization, right? On getting to share with people. So yeah, kind of is what it is. So that's Minecraft Earth. In other news, slightly happier news, Nintendo purchased a new company recently, Next Level Games, who I think, as you mentioned, did Mario Strikers, which I love. I've been wanting to play that game again. They also did Luigi's Mansion 3. So they've got kind of a history with Nintendo. They're not quite rare, but they make games, and it's kind of cool to see, them coming into the fold, as it were.
I like that acquisition a lot, actually. Next Level has done it really does. They've done a lot of great stuff, like stuff that if you didn't know it was Next Level Games that did it, you would think that it was first party Nintendo type of stuff.
Nintendo. Yeah, they really are just kind of like an offshoot of Nintendo, it feels like. So this is very natural. It'd be like if Nintendo announced that they were merging with the Pokemon company. It's like, okay, that makes sense. So
yeah.
Right.
Which they should.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, maybe. I don't know. I tend to think that lately I've had this opinion that like Nintendo like pollutes things as it touches them. Maybe the Pokemon company should stay separate, because we had a little discussion about Hyrule Warriors that we'll probably get into during Change the System, and
What? Me? Top Warriors? No.
Just a little here and there. But Eugene, you had some more news. You want to lay that on us?
Yeah. So, well, I had since we're talking about acquisitions, this is something else that I was on the news. So let me kind of tangent into that. Niantic bought a little startup named Mayhem. Did you guys hear about that?
I've not heard about. Oh yeah, I did hear about that actually.
Yeah, so I had to look up what Mayhem actually was. They're not like a game company or anything like that. It's just a little startup where you can organize leagues and tournaments. It's on their app, I assume, something like that. It's kind of neat. I hope that means that they're going to build something like that into Pokemon Go, like, because there is like the battle leagues and stuff like that. But like it would be nice if there was some way to communicate with people, or like message boards, or maybe that wouldn't be nice. I don't know. The internet sucks. But
That'd be awful, actually. Yeah. Find out that all of your favorite Pokemon Go players are skinheads.
How about this? It would be nice to have that ability for the people that want that.
There you go.
Right. Toggle it on and off like any other multiplayer game.
Right. So yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. Not really much else to say about that, except for that Niantic seems like they're starting to become a legit company, as it were. Like they always were, but like, man, they're like a big time company in the game anymore, with as popular as Pokemon Go is, and now they have the Harry Potter thing, so
they're doing well for themselves. And there's a lot of my friends have like Niantic issues. A lot of my friends will either they played like the old game that came out before Pokemon Go. I don't remember the name of it now.
Ingress, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, and they had an issue with that. Or, they have issues with Pokemon Go and how that handles stuff. But I think as far as mobile games go, Pokemon Go is probably one of like the more complete gaming kind of experiences I've had on a system. I like anything. I liked Mario Kart, and people tell me that's hot garbage. But yeah, I enjoy it. So
I have obviously had my issues with the game as well. But on the whole, I think Niantic has just done a pretty good job. Starting really in 2019, honestly.
Yeah.
That's when they kind of really started to kick it into gear. But then last year, when COVID hit, like they just kind of hightailed it into gear and like really made the game something that is fun to play. I would say last year, I don't think I was playing the game because it was fun. I was playing the game because I'm an addict. But this year, I'm playing the game because I'm an addict and it's fun.
I kind of had that experience too. I got back into it in like September of last year, right? Like I talked about it on the show. And I think the first reason I got into it was because you were like, oh, you can get a shiny Dragonite. Or Dratini. And I was
Right.
like, oh, well, I got to get me some of that. And like ever since it, like the COVID changes have kind of stuck, you know? So it's like I have it on in the background right now while we're doing this show. And I'm just
Right. Yeah,
casually
because you
hunting
can
for my
play at
shiny,
home,
you know?
right? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
couldn't do
it's-
that before.
It's non-intrusive.
Well, yeah.
You just kind of keep it on in the background.
For someone that doesn't really play it that much, it's nice for me with the COVID changes because I don't have to play it when I'm out with my family trying to focus on, getting food and gas and all the important stuff. I can play it from home when I'm comfortable and have time. So even though
Totally.
I don't play it much or regularly, it was nice to be able to do the Celebi event from home. I mean,
Totally.
I caught both Celebis in the bedroom.
Oh, that's right. You had
you
another
know.
account even that we didn't even talk
you
about
went-
that
I started.
on the show.
went
No, we'll get to
hard.
that in a minute.
Well, maybe if he'd be on the show, he could talk about it.
It's
That's
true.
true.
It's true. So I applaud them. I mean, and they've always been able to get me to come back just for the events. Like I have
Right.
a news feed set up, news drip feed set up in my Discord that pulls from Cerebi, Minecraft, and Minecraft Dungeons until I find more that I want. And watching the events gets me back in every time. I did do the Porygon event. I've done a couple of the community days. I obviously did the Celebi event.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
and I even threw $10 an account their way when I did the Celebi event just to say, hey, props, here's a little bit of my money. You deserve it.
Yep, for sure. Okay, well then I did have one other bit of news. I wasn't really going to bring that one up, but it seemed relevant since we were talking about that type of stuff. But now I guess maybe into sad news if you still rely on your 3DS and Wii U for Netflix.
Shame on you for being poor.
If you do, you're gonna need to find another Netflix device because it's gonna be discontinued in June. It looks like the 30th of June is when that's gonna be ending. So yeah, not really much to say about that, but I guess rest in peace, right?
I do want to say one little thing. I feel like we were playing Rocket League a few weeks back, Steve and I, and one of our listeners, Colt, and oh man, somebody's gonna be mad at me because I know there was another person there. I know there was, but I don't remember who it was. But we were playing, and we were
It
kind
was
of talking-
Hellhound.
Hellhound, there we go. Thank you. Boy, that hurts after
We
your
were
glowing
on
comments.
his stream.
That's right. We were on
Oh.
on some guy's stream on Twitch.
Shout out to Hellhound, who just hit affiliate status today. So
Ooh.
congratulations.
Nice work, dude. Well, anyway, we were talking about Nintendo, and we were talking about video games and like media and stuff like that, and how like when you buy like an Xbox or even like a PlayStation, you're kind of buying a multimedia experience, right, rather than a video game system. But Nintendo is very much still a video game system. I think that kind of really shows with the Switch and how they tried for like a hot second to embrace like Netflix and Hulu and stuff, and now it's like I think you can get like Hulu, I want to say, on the Switch. There's one service that you can have on the Switch.
I think
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
YouTube and an anime service, if I remember
But-
right.
Crunchyroll, maybe?
Crunchyroll, yeah, but
I think
they
Hulu
are
too,
not.
maybe. I don't know.
They are not really deviating from what video game systems have always been, and frankly I'm okay with that. I don't really like having everything on one device because then I get obsessed with that device.
There's one service I want them to have, and that's Disney Plus, just so I can give my dad the login information to watch The Mandalorian.
I'm of the opinion that if it can do it, why not? Honestly, to give somebody the ability to do it. But Nintendo has their own means. Obviously, they're making money hand over fist, so they're doing something right, So, okay. What other news do we have, if anything?
I don't have news, but I can talk about games.
Well,
talk about
let's
games,
talk
too.
about some games then.
Talk about Pokemon Go. Shiny Snivy is a thing until the 10th, and he's my second favorite Pokemon, so I want one. So I'm grinding for Snivy.
Lucas has 6 already because it just started Monday.
I have none.
Same. I'm so sad. I've been
It's
trying
gonna-
so
It's
hard.
gonna be a little rare, I think. It's not
I
gonna
think
be
so.
one of
Oh,
those.
is it full odds?
No, but I mean, you have to encounter a Snivy first, and even
I
then
think
it's
the
like,
raids are where the best odds are going to be. So
I
I've
actually
been.
just did a
Probably.
raid with your wife while we were talking about
What the
stuff.
hell?
Well, I didn't
Awkward.
invite you because you're on the podcast,
What
so
the
I didn't want
heck?
to
My
distract you.
game is right here. I'm playing too, man.
So me and Heather just did one. Maybe
Oh,
she got a
that-
shiny.
That's good. Let's just have all three of us playing a game while we're recording the show.
So yeah, so that's Pokemon Go. I really want that Snivy. I have a Pokemon Go story.
Go.
It was the holidays, and there was the winter event, and one of the Pokemon in the winter event was Spiel, and I want a shiny
no.
Spiel. So I had the game on in the background. I would say about 10 hours a day. I'm just like tap, catch, tap, catch over
I
and
also
over
want to
again.
note that he's tracking the amount that he's caught, basically.
Well, it tells you.
It
It
tells
tells
you
you
in-game.
in game. You can look it up on your Pokedex.
And you're looking it up because you want to know.
Well, because the odds were 1 in 450, so I was like, okay, so let's see, if I can beat them odds. Turns out,
Who does he sound like?
beating them odds was never an option because Shiny Spheal isn't in Pokemon Go yet, and I didn't realize that until the day the event ended. So
No, so there is. I'm gonna post an article. I think that's incorrect.
I looked up a ton of different articles. A couple of them said he was in the game, but the vast majority of the ones
Say
I
no?
found said he wasn't.
So I'm just looking at one of the ones that is trying to dupe me. Then basically.
I think so, because I found a few of those too. Where it was
So
like,
what is-
find out how to get shiny Spheal in game, and then I go into like the articles from like all the shinies available as of like November 2020, and it's like,
and it's
he's
not in
on the
there.
list.
That's some.
What
mhm.
does Cerebi say? Cerebi would know.
I
Those
haven't
guys,
looked at-
like,
I haven't looked at Cerebi.
I would have started there.
Yeah, well, I'm almost positive he's not in the game because I caught like 500 of those suckers. So anyway, that's that fun. I have been playing 3 games actually, because I got one game for myself for Christmas that I got for Christmas. The game I got for myself was Everspace, which is apparently a fairly well-known roguelite, but it's a space game, kind of Star Foxy.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
It's
Do
cool,
tell.
and it has so I like mechanics that play into the gameplay. So the way they explain you constantly restarting from scratch and everything is that you're a clone and you're like booting into another clone body when your ship explodes and you die. So it's like every time your ship has like a different name, and that kind of stuff. The voice acting is phenomenal. It's one guy and his AI like companion, and they have like back and forths and everything. Really solid. Just feels really good. So you're flying around again, kind of like Star Fox in the segments where you're like fighting a boss and you can move anywhere, kind of thing. And you might have like an asteroid belt. There might be like an electrical storm, bandits. There's a reptilian army that you're going up against that you made enemies with in the war. And as you progress, you start to remember things about your history, right? The partner that betrayed you, and you meet these
Right.
different characters who each have their own objectives and goals and send you out on missions and stuff. You're upgrading your ship each time so you can get a little bit farther. It's a lot of fun. Like, I'm really enjoying it. So I would recommend that if you want a little like 10 to 20 hour, roguelite, and you're a fan of space shooter games like me. Unfortunately, it
Kinda sounds
suffers.
fun.
Well, it suffers from something that every roguelite that I've ever played has suffered from, which is it glitched on me and froze once. And it seems like that happens every time. And when you're like an hour into a run and it freezes, it really kills the mood. And you really don't want to play anymore. So that happened to me a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I guess. And I haven't booted it up
Especially
since,
when
but-
you're having a good run, right?
Oh yeah, no, because these runs, again, they can take a long time. Like, you're in for like an hour and then you get killed and you're in like sector 5 out of 6, that kind of stuff. So that was painful. But yeah, it's a cool game. I recommend it. A game that I have not played much of that I thought I was going to play a lot more of, but I really just haven't kind of dove into it yet, is Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is, kind of the Breath of the Wild of 2020, right? I like it well enough. I feel like I'm only about 5 hours in, so I can't be too critical of it yet. I feel like it suffers from a lot of the same issues that I felt like Breath of the Wild suffered from. That kind of empty feeling without a lot of like objective stuff. But I've heard from some of our other listeners that that's not really the case, and it actually there's a lot to do supposedly. So I'm kind of trying to just, bide my time and see how it takes me. I've done what I would consider like a dungeon. The world is split up into like 6 different areas, 5 or 6, and there's like different gods based on like Greek mythology and everything. So I ended up in the war area first, and I wish I remembered the god's name, because it's like an actual Greek god. Yeah, Ares. Thank you. See. Welcome back, buddy. So he's been turned into a chicken, and I have to go get his spirit and everything. So I got his spirit, but then his spirit ran away. So now I'm like halfway through the Ares quest, as it were, it looks like. There's a lot of flaws with the game. It's a Ubisoft game, and it shows. And I'm starting to realize that Ubisoft and quality don't merge well. It looks like a GameCube game to me. It is not a pretty game, right? The main character's voice acting makes me want to put nails in my head. But the 2 narrators, Zeus and help me out again, Steve.
Athena?
The dude, no. Dude who was strapped to the rock and had an eagle eat his organs every day because he brought Prometheus, because he brought fire to the humans.
Okay, I wouldn't have thought that.
Prometheus and Zeus have this bet that Phoenix is going to save the world from the evil demon dude who's taken it over. Right. And their interaction is brilliant, right? Prometheus is the straight man. He just kind of like tells the story and everything. Little did she know she was about to encounter the greatest thing she'd ever. And then Zeus comes in with this I remember when I let loose the greatest wind, if you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So like having them narrate your adventure really like is beautiful.
And you said the voice acting is good too. So
their voice acting is really good. Yeah. It makes me remember that I play so many Nintendo games, and Nintendo has such a level of quality to it, because it's like you'll see the characters talking and the lip syncing doesn't quite match, and they've got these dramatic movements and they look like they're made of clay, that kind of stuff. So like you kind of put all that aside and you just kind of enjoy the ride. Sure. I hope to really dive into it at some point. The reason I haven't dove into it is because of the 3rd game that I've been playing, which seems like a good place to spring off with Steve, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which was supposed to be... I've
seen you playing, bitch. I've seen you.
It was supposed to be my, I want to try this, but I don't think I'm going to like it game. I put 60 hours into it, and I'm almost at 100%.
Wow.
So I like it. Okay, so you know that I am the not Breath of the Wild guy, right?
Right.
Justin would say that I hate it. I don't think that's accurate. I have a lot of complaints with Breath.
But you're very much the Warriors guy, though.
Yeah. But I'm also very much the Zelda guy. Like
he's
it's like
the Warriors guy.
It's like
well, you're the Hyrule Warriors guy, Steve. But Lucas has played many a Warriors.
I do like my Warriors, but I'm also very much a Zelda guy, right? Like it's one of my favorite series, which I think is part of the reason why I was so critical of Breath of the Wild, because it did a lot different. When I started playing, there was a lot of repetition from Breath of the Wild, right? It's like, oh, we've gotten the champions together. Let us hold the ceremony to induct the champions. Oh, Zelda has to go to the temples to pray at the fountains. And I'm like, I'm getting like halfway through the cutscenes, and Zelda's spending like 20 minutes. I really started hating Zelda in this game. Like Zelda's talking all about how she doesn't believe in herself and she can't live up to her potential. And I'm just like, okay, skip. Like I've had enough of this, skip. And then in chapter 5, full disclosure here, we're going to be talking about story elements. So if this isn't your thing, skip ahead like 4 minutes. In chapter 5, the calamity hits. And as you know from Breath of the Wild, that's where the story kind of ended in Breath of the Wild, right? And then all of a sudden you wake up in the future. You get to run through the castle as the calamity is engulfing it and enemies are swarming in. You get to watch the king get killed by guardians.
Jeez.
You run off with Zelda, And again,
And you
spoilers
live
here.
happily ever after. That's
This
it. End of the
game
game.
pulls an Ocarina of Time, and it splits the story because, unlike in Breath of the Wild, Zelda's childhood guardian toy Tarako goes back in time and tells you that all of this is going to happen, so you're more prepared. So you go off to fight the calamity in the present instead of sealing Link in the temporal whatever thingy
That's
to
pretty
fight in the future.
interesting.
So this game is about vanquishing the calamity in present day, which is very cool. You get to see Impa as a young woman. She's adorable. She's my new video game crush. And she plays phenomenally. She makes clones of
I
herself.
hear that Impa's like
Yes.
OP, as it
She's
were, in
so
this game.
cool. Well, because as you attack,
I
you
wouldn't
make like
say OP.
duplicates.
There's one that's worse than her.
It's so cool. But and then it all ends with you fighting kind of a Ganondorfized version of Calamity Ganon, right? Like he's got like all the pieces, and he's got like the red hair, and he looks
the red
humanoid.
hair, the fiery eyes. He's tall.
You're gonna make me
and
get
there's-
this game.
And
I was
there's
gonna wait for a
there's-
sale, but you're gonna make me get this game.
There's emotional scenes, right? I thought it was really moving watching the champions fighting the different Ganondorf blights, you know, the water blight Ganon and stuff, because up until the moment where you rescue them, you see the moment where they would have died in the original story, right? You see like Urbosa going up against the lightning thing and him coming in for that killing blow, and it's just like I'm getting the emotional story that I wanted from Breath of the Wild that I didn't experience in this game. I feel more connected to these champions because I'm kind of battling alongside them, and you know, just kind of going through all that is really cool. So I've enjoyed it. Now I came in cold and I got warmer. It still has a lot of flaws in my opinion. It's not Hyrule Warriors, right? Like I think focusing entirely on one Zelda game was kind of a weakness for a Warriors game. I think Warriors game should really embrace the chaos of, you know, melding worlds and stuff. The missions are fine, but a little repetitive. It's kind of cool that you just kind of get plopped down in an environment and you're experiencing like you're just I'm in the forest, but I don't know where in the forest I am because it's like different each time I play the level, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
The combat is fun. I didn't like it at first, but it kind of grew on me. But yeah, it's got its faults. It's not the perfect Warriors game. It's not the perfect Zelda game, but I like it for what it is. I'd say it's probably like an 8 out of 10, you know, and that's cool.
As Zelda stories go, where would you rank it, I guess, then amongst Zelda
See,
games?
I'm so that's the other thing, right? Like I have a bias for Breath of the Wild now. So I'm instantly like I was skipping the story in the beginning because I was so put off by the characters because it reminded me of all that stuff I didn't like. But it's good. You know, I mean it's a Warriors game, so you don't quite get that same like emotional connection that you got in like Twilight Princess at the climax, where all of like the freedom fighters that had been helping you get together and blow up the bridge and help you go into Hyrule Castle, you know, that kind of thing. You don't quite have the moment where like Tetra saves you from the Helmarot King and Wind Waker. But having played Breath of the Wild, you kind of already have those like emotional connections to like the next generation of characters and stuff. So it's a good story. It's worth experiencing, I would say. So yeah, I like it. I don't know if I'm going to get Breath of the Wild 2 now because this game kind of caps the Breath of the Wild story for me. So like, you know, now there's kind of two timelines, I guess. I know Justin would be cringing at that, but you know, I highly suspect Breath of the Wild 2 is just going to continue Breath of the Wild. I kind of prefer the Hyrule Warriors storyline. I kind of like that everything just kind of ended with a nice, neat, traditional Zelda, you know, bow.
It begins and ends with the same game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you have a story like that.
You literally start before Link is Zelda's like retainer, before he's like her knight and everything. And it ends with the defeat of Ganondorf. So it's like, it kind of feels like that storyline is wrapped up at this point. So yeah, I don't know. You know, Steve, I'm done. I've talked way too long. You had kind of the opposite experience, right? You've been a little up and down as we've played the game.
Oh man, this has been an emotional roller. Well, it's been a roller coaster for me. Like I came in, it was announced and I was very excited. I'm like, all right, another Warriors game. It's going to tell the story before Breath of the Wild. And then before it came out, I realized, okay, this is probably just going to be, just these specific characters. There's not going to be a lot to it. So I kind of went down, and then I started playing the game and got heavily addicted to it like I knew I would in a Warriors game. But I've really gone up and down on it. There's so much stuff that I like about it. I love that it breaks the timeline from Breath of the Wild and tells its own story, as I feel a Warriors game should. There were some characters in there, Tarako or whatever his name is. Absolutely love that little
BB-8.
guy.
Yeah.
The little BB-8 guardian.
Literally makes like
Um,
BB-8 noises.
Yeah, I played the demo, and he's in that one. I like how he's on the loading screens and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and another spoiler here, since we've already spoiled the story, but he does become a playable warrior later on in the game. And he became my most played warrior in the game, if I had to guess.
I barely touched him.
Yeah, and he's fun. So you remember when I was talking about OP characters, he has this attack where if you use, I think it's 5 regular attacks and then Master Strong attack button, he creates a cyclone that takes all the enemies up, does a lot of damage, and then shoots them back down to the ground. Well, the cool thing about that is mine has a weapon which has like a +7 and a +15 on the special attack charge rate. So I can get 1.5 meters from a single cyclone.
Is this all sounding very familiar? I love how different we are, Steve. It's like I'm like the emotional connection when the champions are fighting Ganondorf is real.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was able to mod a +15 onto a 47 base weapon. It's like,
yeah. Well, and so there was a mission. There is a particular mission in that game, the Siege of Fort Hateno.
oh my god, you have 10 minutes to kill both of the final bosses of the story, and then the Calamity Ganondorf final boss. Oh my god, is it hard?
And it's not a small map either, and it's not even like a boss rush. You're not in a temple just fighting boss. It's you have to run here, you have to run here.
You finished with 26 seconds left on the clock. I put it on easy mode because I was getting frustrated, and I finished with like 40.
And understand, Eugene, we both went in with level 100
warriors. I had like a level 100 sword on Link. Like Impa had like level 85. Like it was good stuff.
My weapons were dealing 125 and 115 damage on my 2 main warriors that I was using. It was ridiculous. I was shaking when I beat that mission. I do want to say, as of 5 minutes into the podcast tonight, I have completed the game. I have completely 100% of the game as of today.
So now you can enjoy that costume that you unlocked that you'll never use because it's a 100% completion reward.
Exactly. It looks weird, by the way. Because it's in the cel-shaded style art that Breath of the Wild is. So seeing it on Link, it just looks weird. It's cool to see it.
That was a complaint that I had with the game, actually. And I'm sorry, I know we're talking a lot about Hyrule Warriors. But
I do have other games, I promise.
But that was a complaint that I had. In Hyrule Warriors, one of the big draws for me was unlocking different costumes for the characters and weapons and stuff.
And there were
that made them feel like other characters, right? Like Ruto could get like the pattern that the Zora woman had in Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. In this game, really only Link gets costumes, and all the costumes you can equip are the gear that he had in the main game, save for the 100% completion reward, which is his outfit from the original Hyrule Warriors with the little blue scarf. So like, that's kind of a bummer because it feels like there's really not much to unlock, you're just kind of playing the game to play the game. And I love the like costumes and stuff like that. Like that makes the game for me.
So it did take me 71 hours to 100% it. Lucas, you said you're at about 60, and all you have left is Korok.
How many
hunting.
hours? 70?
71.
That's not terrible.
Like 2 minutes.
So what's that's like 10% of what you played in Hyrule Warriors original, right?
Yeah, no, it's a much smaller game.
Yeah, I put 450 or 495 into that.
Probably about a 30, maybe 40-hour game if you're playing
like
the story and really doing like the mini missions. I think you could do it.
I think you could do it maybe 25 to 30.
It's a solid game though. You're gonna get if story is what you like in like your Zelda, like this is going to give you some
It's
story.
good.
It's like 2.5 hours of cutscenes, you know?
I
So,
think I still may wait for a sale, but I think I'm definitely going to get it.
I'd recommend
If you're on the fence, definitely wait for a sale. If you just want a really good, solid story game with a fair amount of content, you're probably good to pay full price.
bump that difficulty down to easy if you don't really feel like
That's
playing the
kind
game
of what
and
I'm
just want to watch
thinking.
the
Yeah.
cutscenes.
I just kind of want to get the
Well,
story,
yeah, and
mash a few buttons
and there's
while
no
I'm watching
penalty
TV.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no penalty for knocking the mission down, other than you may have to grind a little bit if you want to do some of the extra content.
Which he's not going to care about. So
No.
yeah.
So aside from that, I did my annual run of the Donkey Kong Country trilogy now that Donkey Kong Country 3 is on Switch. Got 101, 102, 103% on those games. That was a fun, like, 7-hour romp. What else have I played? Like Lucas said, we played Rocket League on Hellhound Stream. We bought the well, no, I actually haven't bought the season pass yet this time. I held off on it. There was one other game that I have been playing, and now I can't remember what it is. So
Rocket League?
clearly
Donkey Kong Country.
No, I got both of those. Let me look at my Switch real quick, because I have it right here. I bought... Pokemon was the other game. So, Pokemon
Surprise!
Go. We're flipping back around to Pokemon Go. I think last time I was on the show, I was just, working on the Celebi quest. I finished that one like the next day and immediately started a second account and started a second Celebi quest. So 4 days after the event had started, I had completed both Celebi quests and transferred them both over.
I'm
I hit it
surprised
hard.
you didn't just like continuously create dummy accounts so you can continuously get Celebes.
Two was enough.
Here's the issue with mythical Pokemon. They can't be traded on the GTS. So Steve could set up a trade with someone in like the real world.
Yeah,
but
like
you can't
invite someone to my Discord and then
but
do it
you can't
that
just
way,
post a shiny Celebi to online and be like, give me a mythical Pokemon for this. So
yeah, and here's another
they are
word
kind
of
of like
warning.
limited rare,
That makes sense.
Well, and here's another word of warning too for those people looking to do that because they've never had a Celebi in the regular Pokemon games. You can't bring it to Pokemon Sword and Shield unless you've already gotten a Celebi put in Sword and Shield.
Game. Yeah.
I do want to reiterate that, and I think I brought this up last time too. If you play Pokemon Crystal past the on the 3DS Virtual Console, beat the Elite Four, there's an end game event that you can do where you can catch a Celebi that you can transfer over that counts, that you can bring into Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then you can bring your shiny.
Or hit me up. I've got 3.
That's actually been a frustrating point because, Heather has the game and I have the game, but Heather doesn't have Pokemon Sword and Shield, right? So they limit in Pokemon Home only the Pokemon you can transfer if you've caught it in Pokemon Sword and Shield for some reason. So it's like, so now you can't transfer any Pokemon to Pokemon Home or whatever. I may be wrong in this, but when we tried it, it's like, oh no, you don't have you can't transfer anything. So I think I had, what I ended up having to do was just having to have her transfer Pokemon to my account, but
Or are you lying and telling her that so you can steal all her Pokemon?
It's just frustrating. Why are all these limitations, right? Just let people do what they want to do.
I think Nintendo is terrified of crashing the Pokemon economy with all these, it's all of a sudden okay, Lucas and his 50 shiny Charmanders are coming to Pokemon Home.
But the thing is the economy's broken. Every time they release DLC or whatever the new game is, whatever the final legendary is one that everybody's
the only things you can find right now are people wanting Regieleki, Regidrago, Phanto Horse, and Iso
and
Horse.
Ice Horse.
Yeah, that's all it. People want. So
sure,
that sucks.
Because they're the ones from the DLC.
They're the
right?
newest legendaries. You got to play 10 hours to get them.
I don't get why everybody, and they're not that hard to get. I mean, you can have multiple save files on your Switch.
I
So
think
like you can have multiple profiles and you can transfer Pokemon between those profiles.
I think people want them because they're worth something right now. You know, it's like gold. You know, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
give me a bar of gold that I can trade for anything I want. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, and that's actually all I've been playing. Like I said, I've been playing an ungodly amount of Hyrule Warriors.
It's like all he talks
'Cause
about.
yeah, that's but now it's done. Now I can go back to playing something else, and I have some plans. But
Hyrule Warriors is a slow burn for me. I intend on getting all the Koroks, but it's going to be kind of like your Korok experience in Breath of the Wild. It's going to be that thing where it's like, I'll boot up the game and find a couple Koroks. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what I do, right? You see me popping into Breath of the Wild, it's like, what could that guy be doing? Just searching the world for Koroks. Yeah, exactly. Heather hates
Yep.
that sound by now. I'm sure.
make it her ringtone.
yeah,
Yeah, seriously, right? Okay, well, I guess that means that it's my turn to talk about the games I've been playing. We've pretty much hit all the ones that I've been playing. Pokemon Go, still a thing. That's such a fun game, though, guys. I love playing Pokemon Go. I'm gonna take just a minute to talk about my Pokemon Go experience. There's if in case you're uninitiated, the Pokemon Go has a spotlight hour every Tuesday night, and I never ever get a shiny Pokemon from that spotlight hour, except for last night. At the very end of the spotlight hour, I got myself a little, how do you say that Pokemon? Like Lipup or something?
Lillipup.
Lillipup.
I got myself a shiny one, and so did Heather, so that was pretty fun. Yeah, but other than that, man, Niantic, please stop taking my money. Give us some free events here soon. Like, I just
Well,
need
we've
some
still
free
got
ones.
we've still got that freaking Kanto event that's in
That's
like
right.
a month and a half.
That's right. That actually, oh man, I forgot about that one. I'm really excited for that because I need me some shiny Kanto Pokemon.
But it looks like they're building up to it backwards because right now is the Unova event, and then next week is the Sinnoh event.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I bet it'll be Hoenn, and then Johto, and then they'll finally.
You're
get
not
to
wrong,
Kanto.
actually. That's actually a good guess there.
I'm really enjoying the Unova event. That's like one of my favorite generations of Pokemon. So getting to see like all the like Blitzel and Trubbish. Trubbish is worth like 750 Stardust when you catch one right now. So I'm catching all the Trubbish. Like, yeah.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't realize that it was
Every
extra.
time I catch a Trubbish, he's worth 750. So I've been really going out of my way to get Trubbish. I don't know why, but I haven't seen any like bonuses or anything, but he keeps giving me a lot. So I'm going to
That's
keep taking
awesome.
it.
I'm going to have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Pokemon Go, still fun. I think I talked about this in the last episode, To the Moon. I beat that all the way through. If I'm talking about this the second time, I'm sorry. But it really stuck with me, the story in this freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. I ended up going back and playing through it again because maybe a slight spoiler.
Are there different paths or something?
Sort of. You can.
Is it like an Undertale kind of thing where it like changes if you play it a second time?
It changes a few things just because there's two characters that you play as. And so like you can go back and do certain things in the game with the other character and there will be like different lines. So I'm that crazy person that I went and played in the few, I think there's like 3 parts that you can play as another character. But I went and played those 3 parts as that other person just to hear what different things the people said.
I mean, I kind of did that with Night in the Woods, so I get it.
It was good. I like that game a lot, so definitely recommend To the Moon. I found out that it's on iOS. I think it's on Android as well, and it would probably be really fun to play in those settings as well.
Nice.
Because yeah, it's like a I think 4 or 5 hour game, something like that. It's like a sitting, But other than that, the other game that I've been playing, and I just started it, so I don't know that I have much to say about it, but I am in a new space, and my computer is all set up downstairs, and I hadn't set up my VR yet. So I finally set up my VR over the holiday weekend, and there was the Half-Life Alyx that I downloaded, and literally just 10 minutes in, but it's good. It's fun. I want to play it all the way through, but I just didn't have the time to actually dedicate to it, and it needs time dedicated to it. So I'll follow up with y'all soon. That's it. So why don't we talk about the question block, and then we'll get out of here. So who wants to read our question from Colt Cube today?
We actually have a second one as well. I'm just pulling it up, so if someone wants to read the first
So
one.
I'll read Colt's question while you're pulling it up. Colt asks, you can pick a game you like to get a sequel or another addition to the series, but you must erase a whole other series off the face of the earth. It's more of a statement than a question, but okay, let's roll with that.
That's interesting.
We should really read these before the show, so we're not thinking during the show.
Okay, I've got one because this is really easy. I'll just kill something that I don't care about.
Exactly, like Sonic. You monster.
I want a sequel, minus this one's for you. I want a sequel to Golden Sun. So I am going to wipe off Minecraft from the face of the earth so I can...
You son of a... I'm angry. I am angry right now.
But I want me some Golden Sun, so it'll be worth it. You're welcome, Minus.
So I think I want a proper sequel to Hyrule Warriors. And like I say, this may be just because I just finished Age of Calamity, but whatever. If I have to wipe a series off the earth, I'm going to cheat. And there's any number of series I could wipe off. So I'm going to say Call of Duty because I hate that series.
Fair.
Oh, I just thought of the Golden Goose. I was like, there's nothing I really want to see.
Yeah, there is. I can think of one that you want.
Probably not the same one you're thinking of, but I want Sonic Adventure 3.
Oh, no.
I thought you were going to say
I changed
Star
my
Fox.
mind. I'm wiping Sonic off the face of the earth.
Star Fox is good too. And I'll get rid of Golden Sun because who gives a crap about that. No, if I can, okay, so I see this as like a double opportunity, right? I can do a good deed here. I can kill baby Hitler, as it were. What game series just doesn't deserve to exist?
Halo?
No, because there are people who I'm thinking like a money grubbing, like
Okay,
what are some of those games?
Like Candy Crush, something like that.
Angry Birds, yeah, something like that.
So basically, Lucas is killing mobile gaming. Sorry, Pokemon Go.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's got to be. I'll say Candy Crush, I guess. Because that game's stolen tons of money from housewives everywhere. And yeah, give me Sonic Adventure 3. If Sega's not going to make it, I will. So.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Steve, I think you said you have the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Our second question comes from Slacker Money, and it is still Slacker Money in the Discord.
Ever
I
since
want
we
that
messed
known.
up his name.
Yep. Thank you. Is there a genre of music that you just can't stand? Oh, yes.
Country.
Ooh, that's also hard.
Country.
Easy.
Nah, I used to
Period.
not like country, but my uncle liked country, so I've adapted to that. 5 years ago, I would have said rap, but there's a few rap songs that I actually really like now, and Hamilton was a bop. Even dubstep has its moments. I don't think so. I don't think there's a specific
K-pop?
genre.
You don't
I
like
love
K-pop?
I love K-pop, man. K-pop.
Of course he likes K-pop.
K-pop, J-pop, J-rap, J-rock. Give me anything.
J-rap
Asian.
and J-rock are a thing?
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
Oh,
introduce you to
yeah.
a little man named Lotus
Oh, wow.
Juice.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's really a specific
Classical?
genre. I love classical.
So I do too.
That Mozart, that Beethoven. No, I don't think
Leonardo,
Mozart, that-
Donatello.
Mozart, that great painter.
Yeah, you might not realize this about me because of how much I've complained about Breath of the Wild in the last 3 years, but I actually really like most things to some degree. So like I'm having a hard time finding specifically like an entire
Things to kill, or
genre
that you
of
don't like.
music that I don't like. I got nothing. I like country, rap,
How about gospel?
yeah, I'm not a big, but again, like Ave Maria, like that's a good song. That's kind of gospel, I don't think I have a specific. I'm gonna say no answer. You know, there's a lot of music in certain genres that I don't like, but for every 1,000 country songs, there's Achy Breaky Heart or something, and you bop into that. So I got nothing.
Sure.
Or most of what Carrie Underwood does. I do have to admit I like her.
Sorry.
All right. Well, there you go, Slacker, Money, and Colt Cube. Thank you for asking us questions or providing statements, as it were, but we're here for it. We love you. If you want to do that too, go to infendo.com and join our Discord, and you can ask a question as well. That's it, right? We did it. We made it to the end. First episode of the year.
Yep.
Yep.
And last episode on a
Wednesdays.
Wednesday, because okay, so we wanted to make this announcement to you guys. We are switching our show time again, because that's what we do every year.
Apparently.
It's fine.
We have decided everything will work a little bit better for us and maybe for you if we move the show to Thursdays. And we're also going to push the show back a half an hour, so we're not showing up 2 minutes before the show starts and eating dinner on the show. So our show will now be
every week.
Thursday. Our live show will be Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Mountain. You figure out your time zone if you're not on one of those. We all are.
Because we are.
Yeah, so tune in on Thursdays from now on. And we know that we just had like our most viewers ever like last episode. Now we're changing the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, like check that out, because then we'll be kind of moving into the weekend together. It'll be Friday after we finish recording. That'll feel good. We'll be at, like on top of Nintendo news, because Nintendo news all breaks on like Thursday afternoon. So yeah.
That
And if you
also
want a
likes-
reminder, we have reminders in our Discord as well when we go
Yep,
live. It just pings
definitely.
right there for you.
Built by Steve. That also means that the produced show is probably going to be pushed back by a day as well, just for need time for editing, that type of thing. So expect that on Saturday morning, going live going forward.
It's like Saturday morning cartoons all over again.
There you go.
Yeah, but also changing. I'm leaving the show, guys. Nah, just kidding.
It's been good.
You actually scared me for a minute. I was like, wait, is that what this is about?
No, I'm just relinquishing my hosting duties to Lucas because, he's good at it. And plus, that'll give me some opportunities, I hope, to do some cool things behind the scenes on the live show, because I'm not having to, twist all the gears and host and do all the things. So, yeah. Get used to hearing Lucas talk more than he
Hopefully
already
you don't
does.
hate my voice, because you're going to be getting more of it this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can rein me and Justin in when we get out of control.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's going to be.
Oh, yeah, that's your job now.
Oh
Yep.
God. No more silently judging you for your inability to get them to shut up.
No, now you can judge us yourselves for not being able to shut up.
I'll get a coconut.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Hey,
I'll ship
Eugene, you
one.
got to mail him the coconut.
Yeah.
All right, well, here you go. It's here. The coconut has been
Served you
passed.
well.
All right, well, we did it. We made it to the end of the show. Thank you, one and all, for sticking around to the end. We'll catch you next week. And by the way, you still got to wear a mask, so go wear a mask. It's not over yet, people. Be safe.
Don't march on the Senate. Bye bye.
Peace.
That
That was awesome.
First show of 2021 went off without a hitch.
Yeah, actually, it was
Except that one of our co-hosts was missing the entire time, and we still don't know why.
Well, to be fair, we haven't messaged him.
Like Inside Baseball, for anybody who's watching the show right now, we were posting the link to get in, and Eugene wrote "Be there soon," and I posted a GIF, and then Justin wrote, "I won't be. I will be there tomorrow, though," and we have no idea where he is or what he's doing tomorrow. So
stay tuned.
Yeah, there may be
bye
a bonus
bye.
All right. Goodbye, Twitch, and our one viewer we have left, probably EP. Thanks for watching us.
So help me
Appreciate
if you're Justin.
If that's Justin, you're in trouble.